What if I told you that, before the world completely changes, there's a door you need to cross, not a physical door, but a vibrational door, revealed by Thoth, the scribe of the gods, to access your highest level of power. This secret won't come to you twice. If this video has reached you, it's because your vibration is already ready. In the next few minutes, I will give you the 7 laws of the 33rd degree, knowledge that, once applied, guarantees that your reality will never be the same again. The first law alone is capable of doubling the odds in your favor, but it's the 7th law that holds the key that puts you in total control. Stay with me, because what you're going to discover today isn't a theory, it's an activation manual. If you feel you're ready for this change, comment below. I reclaim my power. To become the architect of your reality, you first need to understand the blueprint, the original design of your power. Before receiving the laws, you need to understand the symbol that activates them. The number 33, in this context, has nothing to do with secret societies or external rituals. Forget everything you've ever heard. Here, it is a universal code, an archetype for the mastery of consciousness. It represents the exact point at which a human being stops being a leaf in the wind, reacting to life's storms, and becomes the wind itself, capable of directing the flow of events. Reaching this level isn't about accumulating more knowledge. The information age is over. We're in the age of integration. Having an entire library in your head is useless if you can't apply that wisdom to your daily life. True mastery is measured by your ability to sustain your own light, your own certainty, with such firm and unwavering intensity that external reality has no choice but to align itself with it. It's like the sun. It doesn't try to convince the planets to revolve around it. It simply shines, and its gravity organizes the entire system. Think about it. A fragmented mind, full of doubts, fears, and contradictions, attracts a fragmented life. You want prosperity, but you fear a lack of money. You want love, but you fear rejection. These internal contradictions create a chaotic energy field that manifests as a confusing and unpredictable reality. On the other hand, a sovereign mind, unified in its purpose, attracts coherence. Things simply start to work out. Doors open. The right people appear. It's not luck, it's vibrational physics. What we are about to unveil are the keys that build this inner sovereignty. They are universal laws, as real as the law of gravity, that operate whether you believe in them or not. The difference is that from now on, you will learn to use them to your advantage, consciously and deliberately. You will stop being an amateur player in the game of life and become a master strategist who understands the rules and uses them to win. This symbol of 33 is the representation of your manifested divinity, the perfect union between your human self and your higher self. It is the awareness that you are not just a body living an experience, but the entire universe experiencing itself through you. When you integrate this truth, you stop asking and start commanding. You stop waiting and start creating. Your energy becomes so focused and powerful that it transforms into a force of nature. The journey to activate this symbol in your life begins with the first and most important step: activating your creative force. Most people live in a state of passive desire, waiting for things to happen. The master, however, operates from a state of active will, making things happen. And this distinction is the basis of all magic and all manifestation. It is what separates a dream from a destiny. The first law I'm going to reveal to you is the most fundamental of all, because it's the engine that drives all of creation. It defines the crucial difference between a simple desire, which is fragile and fickle, and an inner force so powerful that it can bend the odds in your favor, transforming the impossible into the inevitable. Prepare to learn how to use the most potent force in the universe, your own will. Now that you understand the symbol of the power that dwells within you, let's get the engine running. The first law is the most powerful of all, because without it, none of the others work. It is the law of unalterable will. Most people spend their entire lives confusing desire with will, and that's why they never get what they want. Desire is fragile. It's a spark that arises in your mind, but is extinguished by the first breeze of doubt, by the weariness of daily life, or by someone's negative opinion. Desire says, "I would like this to happen." It is passive, hopeful. Unalterable will is completely different. It is not a passing thought. It is a force of nature that you activate within yourself. It is a silent, focused, and non-negotiable line of energy. It doesn't say "I would like," it decrees, "This is." It doesn't twist destiny, it establishes it. When you operate from will, you are not asking permission from the universe. You are issuing an order, a vibrational command that informs all of reality what the final result will be. It is a certainty that burns within, a conviction that needs no external proof. The ancient masters knew this. They didn't teach forcing reality, fighting against circumstances. They taught becoming so stable and resolute in your purpose that the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. Imagine a powerful river. It doesn't stop and ask the stones if it can pass. It simply flows, and its continuous flow bypasses or wears away any obstacle. Your will, when activated, becomes that river. Coincidences cease to be chance and become direct consequences of your inner direction. The secret to activating this law is not to work harder, but to stop contradicting yourself. How many times do you set a goal, and 5 minutes later, your mind starts listing all the reasons why it won't work? It's too difficult. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Each of these thoughts is a counterorder that cancels your original intention. You step on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Unalterable will demands that you stop negotiating with your own mind. You make a decision and don't question it anymore. History is full of examples. Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest geniuses to ever walk the earth, did not desire his inventions. He saw them as accomplished facts in his mind even before they existed on the physical plane. He decreed that he would bring alternating current to the world, and all his energy, his entire being, aligned itself with that will. Reality had no choice but to obey. This is not fantasy, it is physics. It is the science of establishing a reality, not of dreaming about it. To begin practicing, choose a clear goal. Feel it as already accomplished. Feel the emotion, the gratitude, the certainty. And then, release the need to know how it will happen. The how is not your concern. It's the universe's concern. Your only task is to sustain the vibration of it's already real. Every time doubt arises, simply observe it as a passing cloud and return to your state of certainty. You are training your mind to obey you, not the other way around. But for this powerful will to descend and work miracles in your life, the channel needs to be clear. Such a pure force cannot flow through a vessel filled with debris, noise, and distractions. And that is why the next law, although it seems the opposite of creation, is actually the key to accelerating any manifestation. It teaches that before building, you must first clear the ground. After establishing your will as an unshakable rock, the second law may seem strange, even the opposite of what you've learned about creating reality. But it is the secret key to high-speed manifestation. It is the law of creative emptiness. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, cannot fill a container that is already overflowing. Imagine trying to fill a glass that is already full of dirty water. You need to empty it first so that pure water can enter. Your life works the same way. Most people try to build their dream life on top of a pile of energetic debris. They are full of distractions, cell phone notifications, other people's opinions, old fears, past resentments, and a constant mental noise that never stops. They want peace, but consume news that generates anxiety. They want prosperity, but spend the day complaining about the lack of money. They try to manifest through excess, and the result is always more chaos and frustration. The creative void is the art of emptying yourself in order to receive. It's not about loss or renunciation in the sense of suffering. It's about creating a magnetic space. It's an act of self-love where you consciously decide to eliminate everything that is not aligned with the reality you have decreed. The sacred does not enter where there is noise. Great opportunities don't appear for those who are too busy with what doesn't matter. The universe is constantly trying to give you gifts, but your hands are full holding onto garbage. Start practicing this law today. Cleanse yourself. Unsubscribe from emails that don't add value to your life. Unfollow social media profiles that make you feel bad or inadequate. Stay away from conversations that revolve around gossip and complaining. Turn off the television. Donate clothes and objects you no longer use that carry stagnant energy. Each act of emptying is a declaration to the universe that you are ready to receive the new. By consciously eliminating what drains your energy, what confuses you, and what takes the place of what you have decreed with your will, your frequency naturally rises. What once seemed like a constant struggle to attract something now begins to arrive effortlessly. It's as if the universe is just waiting for you to clean house, to deliver the new and luxurious furniture that has always been reserved for you. Mastery lies not in adding more things, but in courageously subtracting everything that no longer serves you. Ask yourself, what do I need to let go of to become the person who already has everything I want? The answer may be a habit, a relationship, a belief, or a fear. Whatever it is, have the courage to let go. The emptiness that is created is not an emptiness of loneliness, but a fertile vacuum, a sacred space where miracles can finally germinate. It is the architecture of receptivity. You are building the temple, and divinity will come to inhabit it. With your will firmly established like a pillar of steel, and your inner space cleansed and prepared, you are ready for the next step. Now you need to direct this powerful energy. A firm will in an empty space still needs a target. And the next law will teach you to focus your energy like a laser beam, a power of concentration so intense that it is capable of materializing visions directly from the invisible realm into your physical reality. With your will established and your inner space cleared, we arrive at the third law, and it is what separates dreamers from creators. It is the law of the unblinking gaze. The world, reality, the universe, surrenders to the one who sustains the gaze. And this blinking is not a physical movement of your eyes. It is an internal fracture of your intention. It is the moment when you doubt. It is the moment when you are distracted by something brilliant. It is the moment when you begin to negotiate with your fear, thinking of a plan B. A vision held with unwavering firmness is a force field more potent than 1,000 desperate and scattered actions. Imagine the energy of your will as sunlight. If you let it spread out, it warms gently. But if you use a magnifying glass to focus it on a single point, it becomes so powerful that it can start a fire. The unblinking gaze is that magnifying glass. It is your ability to keep your vision, your ultimate goal, in your mind clearly, vividly, and continuously, without wavering. The master does not sustain his vision with anxiety or despair. He doesn't constantly check if it's already working. He sustains it with a calm certainty, a silent conviction that what he sees in his mind is already a reality on another plane, and his only task is to maintain focus so that it can materialize here. This certainty becomes such a powerful vibrational magnet that everything necessary for the construction of that vision begins to be attracted to its orbit. The people, the resources, the opportunities. Walt Disney, the architect of magical kingdoms, was the embodiment of this law. When all the investors, bankers, and even his own family said that his idea for a theme park was childish madness and unfeasible, he didn't blink. He responded with a conviction bordering on the divine. I see it so clearly in my mind that its existence is already a fact. Now I just need to build the visible part. He upheld the inner vision of Disneyland when there was no money, no support, no structure. His certainty was the force that bent matter. To apply this law, define your vision as clearly as possible. What is your life like when your goal has already been achieved? How do you feel? What do you see? Who are you with? Create a vivid mental scene and return to it every day, not as a task, but as a refuge, a place that is already real for you. When the difficulties of the external world appear, don't fight them. Just return to your inner vision and hold on to it. It is your compass and your shield. Focus is the weapon that separates the master from the amateur. It's the discipline of saying no to 1,000 distractions in order to say yes to the only thing that truly matters. It's the ability to keep your energy pointed in a single direction until the door opens. Reality has no choice but to obey those who maintain unbreakable focus. Those who refuse to blink in the face of the illusion of time and difficulty. But even the clearest vision and most intense focus on the world will not manifest if there is a deeper contradiction within you. Your vision may say wealth, but if a part of you believes you don't deserve it, there will be conflict. And that is why the next law is the most intimate and transformative of all. It reveals why reality does not respond to your desires or visions, but to who you believe you are at the deepest level of your being. Now we come to the deepest law, the most transformative, and for many, the most difficult to confront. If the previous laws were about what you do, this one is about who you are. It is the law of the weight of identity, and it states very simply, reality does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. Your identity is your vibrational signature, the filter through which the entire universe interacts with you. It is the fundamental frequency you emit even before you have a single thought or perform a single action. You can use all the manifestation techniques in the world. You can have the strongest willpower and the sharpest focus. But if your deepest identity is in conflict with your desire, you will always sabotage yourself. You can desire wealth with all your might, but if deep down you identify as someone who struggles to survive or who was born poor, reality will continue to deliver more struggle and more poverty. Life doesn't follow your conscious intentions. It follows your subconscious self-definition. Think of your identity as the gravity of your being. It has a weight, a force of attraction. And everything in your life, all your experiences, relationships, and circumstances settle around this force. That's why true masters don't strive to acquire things. They work tirelessly to become the kind of person for whom these things are a natural and inevitable consequence. They don't chase the butterfly. They transform themselves into the garden so that the butterfly comes to them. Oprah Winfrey is a perfect example of this. Her life only changed radically when she stopped seeing herself as a victim of her traumatic past, hoping for a better future, and began to embrace the identity of a creator with a divine purpose. She started walking, talking, and making decisions like the powerful woman she wanted to be, long before the world recognized her as such. The universe didn't respond to her desire for success. It responded to the overwhelming weight of her new identity. So, the question you need to ask yourself isn't, "What do I want?" but "Who do I need to become so that what I want is a natural consequence?" Who is the version of you that already has perfect health, a loving relationship, financial abundance? How does that person think? How do they feel? How do they act? You need to start embodying that identity now, not tomorrow, not when you achieve something. Now, identity change precedes reality change. This requires you to abandon the stories you tell yourself. I am shy. I am unlucky in love. I never have enough money. These are not truths. They are just programs running in your mind. Stories you have repeated so many times that you have come to believe them. You are not your story. You are the consciousness that observes the story. And you can choose to write a new story based on a new identity at any time. When you change your identity, your vibration changes. And when your vibration changes, you begin to attract a whole new set of realities that correspond to that new frequency. You don't get what you ask for, you get what you are. And to sustain this new master identity, you need to understand the ultimate secret of the power structure, the revelation that ties everything together and puts you at the center of command. The next law is not just a law, it is the very key to the kingdom. We have arrived at the heart of the mystery, at the climax of our journey, and at the revelation that fulfills the promise that brought you here. This is the gateway to your highest level. The seventh and final fundamental law is the law of the double throne. It reveals the greatest secret about your nature. You are not one. You are two. There is the self that lives life day to day, the self that feels emotions, that reacts to events, that gets tired, that is afraid, that is on the battlefield of the world. This is your human throne. It is where most people live 100% of the time. But there is another self, a silent, powerful self that observes all this without being shaken. It is your pure consciousness, the director behind the scene, the serene presence that witnesses the film of your life without identifying with the drama. This is your inner throne, the throne of the sovereign. The true secret of the 33rd degree, the essence of mastery, is not an external ritual or secret knowledge, but your ability to consciously leave the human throne and sit on the inner throne to govern your reality from there. As long as you operate solely from the human throne, you will forever be a victim of circumstances. Traffic irritates you. Criticism hurts you. An unexpected bill drives you to despair. You are a leaf in the wind, tossed from side to side by external forces. Your peace and power depend on what happens outside. You live in a constant state of reaction, surrendering control of your life to the world. But when you learn to operate from the sovereign's throne, the game changes completely. From the inner throne, you observe anger arising, but you do not become anger. You observe fear appearing, but you do not become fear. You observe the chaos of the world, but you remain in your center of unwavering peace. You are no longer the emotion. You are the consciousness that commands it. You no longer react to problems. You direct them. You become the point of stability in the midst of the hurricane. This is the true initiation. It's not an event with candles and robes. It's the silent moment when you recognize that, even in the midst of the greatest storm of your life, there is a part of you that is untouchable, serene, and holds all the power. It's the discovery of your observing self. The proof of mastery is not resisting the darkness, but discovering who accompanies you in it. That presence that does not judge, does not fear, and does not react. From the moment you consciously access this inner throne, you stop begging for stability from the external world and begin to generate it from within. You become the source. You dictate the energetic rhythm of your reality. people and situations begin to respond not to your reactive and fearful self, but to your sovereign, calm, and powerful self. Your vibration, in fact, will never be the same again, because you are no longer playing the same game. This is the command that changes the scale of your power. It's the key that frees you from the prison of reactivity and puts you in the director's chair of your life. The previous 6 laws gave you the tools: will, emptiness, focus, identity. But it is from the double throne that you use them with true mastery. You now understand the structure of power. You have seen the door, and from now on, the choice to walk through it and live as a sovereign is entirely yours, every moment of every day. Now that you have accessed your center of power, the double throne, the laws become practical and direct tools. The 8th law is the natural consequence of your new position as sovereign, the law of energetic order. It says something very simple. Chaos does not exist. What you used to call chaos, disorder, life happening, was merely the perfect reflection of your internal disorder. A mind that jumps from thought to thought, from worry to worry, attracts a life full of unforeseen events, problems, and confusion. External life is always a mirror of your internal structure. The master, seated on his inner throne, no longer wastes time trying to fix the chaos outside. He doesn't try to control people, fix the economy, or change the government. He understands that this is futile, like trying to smooth the reflection in the water without touching the water itself. Instead, he dedicates himself to a single task: ordering his own energy field. He becomes an architect of his inner world, knowing that the external construction will perfectly follow the internal blueprint. Every thought you consciously choose becomes a straight and clear line in your blueprint. Every emotion you allow and process without reacting becomes a tuned and harmonious frequency. Every habit you deliberately install becomes a supporting pillar for your new reality. Your external life, like an obedient and precise mirror, has no choice but to begin to accommodate this new internal geometry. Disorder dissipates, not because you fought against it, but because it no longer finds resonance within you. True expansion in life doesn't come from doing more, running faster, or trying harder. That's the old paradigm. Expansion comes from eliminating the internal misalignment that was holding you back. It's like trying to drive a car with the wheels pointing in different directions. It won't go anywhere and will waste all its fuel. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions in a single clear direction, your life begins to move with a speed and precision that previously seemed impossible. Steve Jobs, for example, was obsessed with this order. He believed that simplicity was the ultimate sophistication. His offices were clean, his decisions were straightforward, his products were minimalist. This external order was merely a reflection of his internal mental clarity. The iPhone was not a product created by chance. It was the manifestation of a mind that found order and simplicity amidst the chaos of the technology industry. He ordered the inner self, and the outer self transformed. Start applying this practically. Look at an area of your life that seems chaotic. Now, instead of looking outward, look inward. Where is the disorder in your thoughts about this issue? Where is the contradiction in your emotions? Where is the inconsistency in your actions? Don't judge yourself, just observe. And then, from your inner throne, begin to bring order. Define a clear thought. Choose an aligned emotion. Take one small, consistent action. When you become the embodiment of order, chaos no longer finds a place to exist in your reality. You become the calm center of the storm. And when you reach this state of inner coherence, something magical happens. Your very presence begins to influence the environment around you, without you needing to say a single word. And that is the next law we will explore, the power of your silent influence. With your inner order established, you naturally activate the ninth law, a power that operates on a much more subtle and profound level than words or actions. It is the law of silent influence. It states that everything you touch with your consciousness takes on your form. Your energy, now coherent and ordered, becomes an instrument of transformation. This is not a metaphor. Your vibrational field, the energy field emanating from you, begins to interact with and influence the energy field of everything and everyone around you. This goes far beyond what you say or do. A master who has achieved a high degree of inner coherence can enter a room full of tension, of people arguing, and without uttering a single instruction, the atmosphere begins to calm down. People feel, on a subconscious level, the stability and peace emanating from him, and their own nervous systems begin to regulate themselves to mirror that frequency. The master's stable vibrational field straightens what is crooked around it, simply by the force of his presence. This is the mark of true power. It's not the power to shout louder, to impose your will, or to manipulate others. That's ego power. It's weak and temporary. True power is silent. It's the ability to influence without imposing, to transform without forcing, to command without giving a single order. Reality, in its essence, doesn't respond to what you say you want, but to the state of being you sustain moment by moment. Think about your business, your relationships, your finances. Everything you touch with your attention and awareness is absorbing the quality of your internal state. If you are in a state of anxiety and fear about your business, you are ita without realizing it, injecting that energy into every project, every meeting, every email. If you're in a state of peace and confidence, that energy flows into your relationships, making them more harmonious and healthy. You are the tuning fork, and everything around you begins to vibrate at your frequency. The master doesn't strive to change the world. He understands that this is a losing battle. Instead, he strives to stabilize himself. He does the inner work to maintain his peace, his clarity, and his order, no matter what is happening outside. And then, his own energy field does the heavy lifting, adjusting external situations as if his energy had given the instruction without a word being spoken. It is the most efficient and elegant form of power that exists. Start noticing this in your own life. Before going into an important meeting, instead of mentally rehearsing what you're going to say, spend a few minutes connecting with your inner self, feeling a state of calm and confidence. Before meeting a loved one, instead of thinking about past problems, connect with feelings of love and gratitude. You will notice that interactions change. People become more receptive, problems seem smaller, and solutions appear more easily. You are learning to operate from your presence, not your personality. Your presence is your essence, your real power. But for that influence to be truly effective in the physical world, it needs to be combined with the right action at the right time. And this leads us to the next law, the art of acting in perfect synchronicity with the flow of the universe. Now that you understand how to order your inner self and influence the outer world with your presence, the 10th law emerges to connect these two worlds masterfully. It is the law of impeccable action. And it is radically different from everything society has taught you about effort and hard work. The law states, act only when the path is energetically clear. The average human being, operating from fear and anxiety, acts out of desperation. They force closed doors, bang their head against a brick wall, and expend an immense amount of energy fighting against resistance. The master, operating from the calm and clarity of his inner throne, learns to feel the flow of the universe's energy. He does not act on impulse. He plants the seed of his unalterable will, sustains the vision with the unblinking gaze, orders his inner field, and then he waits. He observes, he listens. He only moves on the physical plane when he feels the path is open, when synchronicities begin to appear like green lights at a traffic light, pointing the way. Flawless action has nothing to do with perfectionism. Perfectionism is based on the fear of making mistakes. Flawless action is based on the wisdom of acting in perfect alignment with the divine timing of the universe. It's the difference between a surfer who paddles furiously against the wave, tiring himself out and never getting anywhere, and the master surfer who observes the sea, senses the right wave forming, and, at the exact moment, paddles with little effort to gain momentum that takes him to the beach with speed and grace. Acting in this way saves a gigantic amount of energy and produces results that are 100 times more powerful. It's the principle of minimum effort and maximum result. Why fight against the current when you can simply wait for the tide to turn in your favor? The universe has its own rhythm, its own intelligence. When you align yourself with that intelligence, instead of fighting against it, the universe itself begins to work for you and with you. To practice this, you need to develop your energetic sensitivity. Before making a big decision or initiating a major action, stop. Sit on your inner throne and ask, does this feel light or heavy? Does this flow? Or does it feel forced? If the answer is heavy or forced, it doesn't mean the goal is wrong, but that the moment for action hasn't arrived yet. The resistance you feel is a sign from the universe saying not yet. Trust this sign. Continue to hold the vision and maintain inner order. When the right moment arrives, you will know. Things will begin to fall into place. An unexpected call. Information that arrives at the right time. A door that suddenly opens. These are signs that the path is energetically clear. And when you act at that moment, your action will have the strength not only of your own will, but of the entire flow of the universe supporting you. You become unstoppable. When you begin to live according to these laws, something extraordinary begins to happen. The time between your internal state and its external reflection begins to decrease drastically. The universe begins to give you almost instantaneous feedback, and this phenomenon is the next law we will explore, the acceleration of the mirror of reality. As you delve deeper into the practice of these laws and operate increasingly from your sovereign throne, you activate a powerful and sometimes frightening phenomenon. The mirror of reality accelerates. The 11th law states, the universe will show you your reflection faster and faster. What does this mean? It means that the time between the cause, your internal vibrational state, and the effect, your external reality, shortens drastically. Life becomes an instant feedback mirror. In the past, when your energy was denser and more misaligned, it could take months or even years for a negative thought pattern to manifest as a real problem in your life. There was a delay, a time buffer, but as your vibration rises and becomes more coherent, that delay disappears. You think, you feel, and reality responds almost immediately. A persistent thought of doubt about a project can create a real obstacle on the same day. A genuine burst of gratitude can open an unexpected door in a matter of hours. This is not a punishment, not at all. It's advanced training. The universe is treating you like a master in training. It's giving you instant and precise feedback so you can adjust your vibration in real time. It's like learning to drive a Formula 1 car. The slightest movement of the steering wheel has an immediate and powerful response. This requires a much higher level of presence, focus, and responsibility. This phenomenon is an invitation to maintain impeccable vigilance over your inner state. You can no longer afford to indulge in negative thoughts, complaints, or fears for long. because you will see the consequences of this materialize rapidly before you. Similarly, you will discover that the power of your positive thoughts and emotions has become exponentially greater. You are manifesting at high speed, for good or for bad. Many people get scared at this stage. They create a small problem with a misaligned thought and panic, thinking they've lost their power. But the opposite is true. The fact that the problem appeared so quickly is proof that your power of manifestation has increased enormously. The universe is simply showing you where your energy was focused. Be grateful for the feedback. Return to your inner throne. Correct your vibration, and watch reality adjust again. Use this as your greatest learning tool. When something undesirable happens, don't blame yourself. Instead, ask yourself curiously, interesting, what thought or emotion within me created this? Use the external situation as a map to navigate your inner world. You are learning the art of conscious creation in real time, and the universe is your patient and precise teacher, simply reflecting back to you the lesson you need to learn. This mirror acceleration affects all areas of your life, including one of the most sensitive, your relationship with money and abundance. How you deal with prosperity under this new vibrational physics is the subject of our next law, which will completely redefine what you understand by wealth. Now that you understand that your reality is an accelerated mirror, let's apply this to one of the areas where limiting beliefs are strongest: money. The 12th law completely redefines your relationship with abundance. It's the law of wealth as flow. It says, wealth is not what you accumulate, it's what flows through you. The old mindset, based on scarcity and fear, teaches that you need to accumulate, save, and retain money at all costs because it is limited and can run out. The master, operating from a state of unity consciousness, understands that the energy of prosperity, which includes money, is like a cosmic river, infinite, abundant, and always in motion. Trying to dam this river out of fear of scarcity is the quickest and surest way to dry up the source. When you hold back out of fear, you send a vibrational signal to the universe that you don't trust the flow, that you believe in lack. And the universe, like a perfect mirror, delivers more experiences of lack to validate your belief. True wealth isn't the number in your bank account. True wealth is your ability to become a clean, wide, and efficient channel for the energy of abundance to flow through you. You learn to receive with deep gratitude, without guilt or feelings of unworthiness. And you learn to direct this flow, to give it, to invest it, to circulate it with purpose and joy, without fear that it won't return. You trust that by becoming a generous channel, the universe entrusts you with managing ever-increasing flows. The scarcity mindset builds dams. It clings to every penny, afraid to spend, afraid to invest, afraid to give. And the result is that the flow of water that reaches it becomes a trickle. The master mindset, and on the other hand, becomes the riverbed itself. It understands that money is just a tool, an energy that needs to circulate to stay alive and multiply. It allows abundance to flow through it to nourish its dreams, its family, its community, knowing that the source from which it comes is absolutely infinite. Start changing your perspective. See each bill you pay not as a loss, but as an opportunity to bless and give thanks for the service you received, keeping the energy flowing. See every real you earn as proof of the universe's abundance and feel gratitude for being a channel for it. If you're afraid to spend, start small, give a generous tip, buy a coffee for a friend, feel the joy of allowing the flow to pass through you, instead of blocking it. You are shifting your frequency from fearful hoarder to confident flow manager. You are telling the universe, I trust you. I know the source is inexhaustible. You can send me more, because I know how to keep the energy moving. This identity shift is the key to unlocking levels of prosperity that the old mind, trapped in scarcity, cannot even conceive of. But to maintain this flow and all other aspects of your life in harmony, there is a final discipline, a trial by fire of mastery that, when mastered, makes you truly untouchable. It is the art of maintaining your power in all circumstances, and it is our penultimate law. We have reached the ultimate test of mastery, the discipline that separates the initiate from the consummate master. It is the 13th law, the law of non-reaction, and it is as simple as it is profound. The power you give to that which disturbs you is the power you lose. Every time you react with anger to criticism, with fear to news, or with despair to an obstacle, you are literally tearing the crown from your head, descending from your sovereign throne and handing over the keys to your inner kingdom to the external world. When you react, you are saying, on an energetic level, what happened outside has more power over me than my own sovereignty. That person's opinion is more important than my peace. That unexpected event has the power to destroy my inner state. You become a puppet, and the world becomes the puppet master, pulling your emotional strings wherever it wants. Reactivity is the greatest thief of power that exists. The master practices the sacred art of non-reaction. He observes the external provocation. He feels the emotion of anger or fear arise in his body. On his human throne, he does not deny the emotion. He does not repress it. He welcomes it, observes it. But from the unshakable stability of his inner throne, he consciously chooses not to be swept away by it. He chooses not to react. He maintains his peace. He maintains his stability. He maintains his power. This attitude is not passivity or weakness. On the contrary, it is the highest and most potent form of power. Reaction is weakness. It is being controlled. Non-reaction is strength. It is self-control. By refusing to react, you break the cycle. The attack or external provocation was sent like a ball of energy seeking a wall to bounce off. If you react, you become the wall, and the energetic ping-pong game continues indefinitely. If you do not react, the ball simply passes through you and dissolves into the void. You dissolve the attack without fighting. Start training that spiritual muscle. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, watch the wave of anger rise. Breathe and choose not to react. Let it pass. The next time you read a negative comment online, feel the prick in your ego. Breathe and choose not to respond. Let it go. Each time you do this, you strengthen your position on the inner throne. You are training yourself to be the cause, not the effect. You force reality to calm down because it no longer finds resonance in you for conflict and drama. People who once provoked you will easily begin to distance themselves because their game no longer works on you. Situations that once destabilized you will lose their power. You become a black hole for negativity, not because you absorb it, but because your inner peace is so vast that negativity simply dissolves into it. Mastering this law is what prepares you for the final step. It's no longer a law to learn, but a realization to live by. It's the moment when you look back on your journey and perceive the ultimate truth behind all the teachings, the secret that Thoth truly wanted to show you. Now, we have reached the end of the learning journey and the true beginning of your life as a master. The 14th part is not a new law for you to memorize. It is a realization. It is the moment when the curtains open and you see the truth behind the stage. Thoth, the scribe of the gods, never gave you a door to walk through. He only placed you in front of a mirror and taught you to truly see for the first time. The final secret, the ultimate revelation, is this: the power was never outside. It was never in Thoth, nor in the laws, nor in any master. It was always within you. The 7 laws and all that followed were not given to teach you something new. They were designed to remind you of what you have always known at the level of your soul. They were keys to unlock doors that already existed within you. The true initiation was not learning about the will, the void, or the double throne. The true initiation was the exact moment when you recognized yourself in these laws. The moment when you read about the unalterable will, and a part of you said, "I know this force." The moment when you understood the double throne and your soul whispered, "I am this presence." The gateway to your highest level, the promise of our meeting, was never a destination to be reached. It was always a state of being to be embodied. It is the unbreakable coherence you build between the will you decree, the space you courageously clear, the vision you unflinchingly uphold, the master identity you assume, the order you establish within, the silent influence you emanate, and the dual throne from which you govern. The door is you. The key is you. The kingdom is you. This journey doesn't end here. In fact, it hasn't even truly begun up to this point. All we've done is clear the ground, study the blueprint, and gather the tools. Now, the real work begins. But you are no longer the same apprentice who started this journey. You are no longer searching for answers outside. You have become the source of the answers. You are no longer asking for signs. You have become the sender of the signs. You no longer try to order the chaotic world. You order your inner field with the precision of a maestro and observe, calmly and confidently, the orchestra of reality respond in perfect harmony. The journey was not for you to acquire power. It was for you to remember the infinite power that has always been yours by birthright. A power that has been obscured by programming, fear, and the illusion of separation. Ascension is not an event, but a continuous state of remembrance. It is the daily practice of choosing the sovereign throne instead of the human throne. It is the discipline of living from that truth, no matter what the mirror of reality shows you. You have crossed an inner threshold, and there is no turning back. Knowledge has now become identity, and with this new identity, you enter a new reality. A reality where you are no longer a passive participant, but the master in action, the conscious creator in command of your experience. And that is what our final part is about, your new life. Now, knowledge has become flesh. Laws are no longer abstract concepts in your mind. They are the tools you use as naturally as you breathe. They are part of who you are. The great change promised at the beginning of our journey is complete, but not in the way the old mind expected. The world didn't change to adapt to you. You changed, and therefore, your experience of the world has been forever transformed. The world may continue with its chaos, but it no longer defines you. You have become the point of stability from which your reality is drawn. What follows is no longer lessons, but applications. The decisions you will make will be greater, because you will make them from a place of power and clarity, not fear and reaction. The impact you will have on the world will be broader, because your silent influence will touch everyone who crosses your path. And life will begin to respond to your presence in ways that once seemed like miracles, but which you will now recognize as the natural operation of universal laws. Ascension, as you now understand, was not a one-time event, a diploma you received. It is a continuous state of being. It is a constant and loving vigilance over your inner throne. It is the daily practice of choosing order over chaos, trust over fear, sovereignty over victimhood. Reality, now more sensitive and responsive to you than ever before, awaits your next command, your next decree, your next vision. Your vibration is not and will never be the same again. You can no longer go back to being who you were. Just as a butterfly cannot go back to being a caterpillar. You saw behind the veil. You felt the power of your inner throne. Trying to live as before would be painful and inauthentic. You have become the secret that will not be found twice, not because it has disappeared, but because you no longer need to find it. You have become the source itself. The journey of awakening never ends. It only deepens. There will be days when the human throne will seem stronger, when old patterns will try to pull you back. Don't despair. This is part of the process. Just observe, breathe, and with the calm of a master, return to your center, to your sovereign throne. Each time you do this, your position will become stronger, more stable, more natural. Take these laws with you, not as a burden, but as your sword and your shield. Use them to carve out the life of beauty, purpose, and abundance that you came here to live. Always remember, the world doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. You are the portal, the creator, and the master. The change has been made. The door has been opened. Now, walk through it and begin to live your new reality. The work is only just beginning. If you've made it this far, to the end of this journey, know that it's no coincidence. Your presence up to this point is proof that your consciousness is ready to operate on a new level. To seal this commitment to your own evolution, leave the following phrase in the comments. My vibration will not be the same. That way, I'll know who truly walked through the door with me. For those who feel called to help this channel more directly, your contribution is what allows us to continue spreading messages like this. In the first pinned comment, you will find a link to support us. Any help you can give is very important to me and to the growth of the channel, ensuring that more people can awaken to its power. But understand that just the fact that you watched until the end is already a huge help. If this content resonated with you, share it with someone you believe also needs to hear this message. And before you leave, your journey doesn't have to end here. I've prepared a special video for you to take the next step. Content that will delve even deeper into what we've discussed and give you practical tools to live in this new reality. So don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now, and let's meet there.